Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow preppers. Welcome to the channel for you newcomers. If you hit the like and subscribe button and the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Welcome back for my comer backers. So I got another message from Teldor. Apparently it came up when I was napping. Now Higgins, of course, I talked to him for 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes on the phone. He finally told me 3 hours. He was asking me if his dad had Alzheimer's. I said probably, because his dad was nagging him about prep. I think it's like, what's the point of prepping? Nothing's going to happen. Trust the Lord. It's something or other. He was squabbling. I don't remember the whole thing about. He's got 19 pages of outdated material to find a doctor. And I finally said to Higgins, look, keep prepping, but in between your prepping, get a planner and make the time to go through 150 entries for calling doctors, find out which takes his Michigan Medicaid since he's on SSI. And I told him keep prepping and keep calling because, he needs his meds. And that's the thing. A lot of these people are being shit on when it comes to medication management, like Higgins. The Medicaid doesn't want to pay. Now, there could be other reasons, but the state keeps cutting the corners. This is one of the things the federal government wants to do. They want to fucking cut out more expenses to the elderly so they can't cover everything. And that's part of their budget package debt ceiling raising thingamabob, What the hell? Oh, I guess I opened another tab by mistake. There we go. I was like, what the hell? There's two StreamYard links? Okay, so Keldor goes, you remember earlier, what in the hell is going on? Do I have to light a fire under your shitbirds to prep? I'm already prepping. I got up and I placed some orders, and I was talking to my friend. One of my friends is in Chicago, and again, no one answered the homework question again, which was, why is the cities all over America dead as a doornail? Are they prepping? Are they waiting for nuclear war? Oh, and I have some news for you. And by the way, before I say anything, school is now open. Okay. Rita is gaming. Yes, I stopped gaming so I can get to you YouTubers. Remember, this is why I'm doing this off and on. Pee-wee is playing the slots. She doesn't play the slots every day. It's a little hobby of hers. She likes to play slots. She apparently has a good winning streak, usually. Higgins is doctoring. No, Higgins is looking for a doctor, and so far told him to go through the list. He's got unlimited minutes. Just keep calling. Zoe is writing a novel. It's not really a novel so much as it's a book, okay? And I'm the Lone Ranger out here prepping. Well, I'm with you, Teldor. I really am. I'm not gaming all the time, The proof's in the pudding, you shit nuggets. Get your house in order. What do you think I'm doing? This shit nugget is getting their house in order. But at the same time, I'm also educating myself with books and anything else I can get my hands on from the library, which I want to talk about. Library is a good form of education for self-educating, for documents and information, including YouTube and other movies that talks about the true nature of the Great Depression. You have to prep yourself for this, the mindset. And, people sit there and they say to me, oh, you're gaming. And, the next new one was, the Milk and Honey Express has derailed, and the hordes of hell have been opened. And you shitbirds are playing Atari. Actually, I was playing my Nintendo. Remember, I have an Atari, but truthfully, Atari sucked back in the 70s. It sucked donkey dicks. I also like to read, by the way, so I've been reading and watching and educating about the Great Depression. I'm actually doing something that you shitbirds aren't doing. You guys are all sitting around living in a world where you think something else is going to happen. The hordes of demons are going to load you up and ship you off to concentration camps or whatever else, and or other people. And I've heard Higgins and others in the past, concentration camps or whatever. And it's like, dude, hasn't happened yet. But there's a lot of people out there that just don't give a shit about prepping. What's wrong with you people? Our fearless leader should be leading the flock. I am leading it. Why do you think I'm here, Teldor? I'm getting tired of the negative comments right now. You should see Teldor. I am lighting fire in their ass. How many videos, Teldor, do you want me to do in a day? Huh? Do you want me to do 8 hours of prepping? 10 hours, 12 hours? No one tells me. I mean, literally, I get up. Here's my schedule, people, okay? For you people that want to know my schedule. I get up in the morning. I do the morning edition. By the way, I have some news for you that's gonna be scary as shit, okay? But I will get to that in a minute. I get up. I get my coffee. I sit down. I wash up my face, moisturize, and make sure I'm as cute as possible for you guys. I'm ugly. Everyone knows that. I'm not like the passable trannies. Then I do my prepping show, and I tell you guys the latest news, what's going on in the pipe. Stock market's up, stock market's down, stock market's stabilizing, stock market's down, whatever. And then I tell you the news, and I tell you to keep getting your house in order. Yeah. And then, I have issues like this morning, like Zoe throwing a temper tantrum and throwing shoes. And then I have other things to get my things in order. And I had to replace my soup that Chloe ordered. By the way, I did order several cases of soup. Thanks to Higgins sending me a notice about soups. Way to go, Higgins. You see, behind the scenes, people sit there and think I'm lazy. But you know what? I put in about 40 emails today, several orders today, and probably about 24 phone calls before I had lunch or dinner. And then I took a nap. Why? Because I'm up usually 19 to 20 hours at a time, managing the computer systems for you. So when I do pass out between 12 and 2 currently, I'm up between 5 and 7 usually, give or take, to get on here so you shitbirds get the latest intel that I have. And the latest intel looks pretty shitty. And I still have to give you the info so you can deduct what's going on in the world. You can get this information yourself, but let me tell you how lazy people have been getting, okay? There's people out there, right, that think we're not prepping. We are. We're prepping behind the scenes. We're prepping. You think all those tablets and stuff on the doors are useless. I marked everything down. Chloe came back and said, okay, I got it all. Yeah. For once, she realized this is what I want. This is what she's getting. Nothing more, nothing less. She said, oh, make sure to write a list for tomorrow. What do you want? Need hamburger or hot dog buns. Maybe some hamburger. We wouldn't mind a burger now and then with some cheese and some Thousand Island. But here's the kicker. You preppers are out there. You preppers. The real preppers, we're prepping behind the scenes. We don't have to tell you what we're doing at all times. Think of other people. I've convinced some preppers that contact me via phone. Now we talk on the phone all the time. To go and order Amazon, Walmart, Target, Kroger, Rally's, Fred Meyer, Safeway, that other place. All these places and have it shipped into the hub in Chicago. Why? Because they're prepping. The other day, someone made a joke and said, do I need $1 million in food? $250,000 in food and $750,000 in silver coins. That should be good for your nest egg. Why? Because that's what I recommended, okay? But even if you get $10,000 or $12,000 in food, you're fine. But I am doing everything I can. I just replaced my soups, okay, with more soups. I've also decided to look at other options for prepping. Emailed the manager, said, look, can I use barbecue outside? Oh, I can? Cool. So if I set up a hickory smoked charcoal smoker outside, smoked all day, you don't mind? Oh, no problem. Cool. There you go. Smoker's ordered. Why? Because I want to smoke, just in case. All these things stacked up in the prepper's room, just in case. So what am I doing? I'm going off the list. And then I go, I need this. I need that. I need this. Someone emailed me the other day as a prepper and said, what have you heard about 50-year shelf life water? Water's in a can that's 50 years old. You got to ask yourself, how many chemicals are going to be in that damn can of water so you can drink in 50 years? Think about it. Isn't it enough? No. Thing is, there's people with schedules, okay? People with priorities. My priority is my gaming is to relax and unwind after I got to deal with the morning edition of YouTuber. You see, my problem is I have got the mindset. I'm prepping behind the scenes. Business emails for prepping supplies. Phone calls for prepping supplies. Contacting the library for books on prepping supplies and studying extra prepping and prepping. People need to realize when you're prepping, it's not just about, and this is your homework assignment for tonight, students, is this. Get off your lazy ass. Go to your fucking library. Ask for books and movies about prepping and the Great Depression. You see, the problem in today's thing is, Teldor says I need to lead the flock. What am I doing every fucking day, huh? I'm giving you advice, okay? Here's your tonight's homework. Think about what I'm giving you, okay? When someone says I'm a lazy son of a bitch and I'm not doing anything, I'm doing more than most of these fucking preppers out there. What are they doing? They're talking a good show. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to overthrow the government. And here's what I'm telling you for tonight's homework. Think about this. Am I lazy? No. Am I leading the flock? Yes. What am I doing that guides you guys? Think of what I'm doing. Well, I'm sitting around reading, analyzing the data for the first Black Swan, nuclear war, second Black Swan, Civil War, third Black Swan, World War III, the fourth and the big kahuna, the big enchilada, stock market crashing, Great Depression. I'm sitting there prepping, doing something that these fucking new generation Peckerwoods can't even do, okay? They are. These new generation fuckers at Peckerwoods. They couldn't even get their head out of a fucking brown bag. Think about it. I want you to take a walk tomorrow morning as your homework assignments before the morning edition. And post a comment and say you took a walk and realize what I'm about to tell you is fucking truth. The truth nugget's this. If you're going to fucking prep and buy all your fucking groceries and fucking say you're prepping and you're doing good, you're not doing good because there's one of the main skill sets that you need to learn for prepping, and that is prepping, preparing your mindset. Your mindset, mind you. Your mindset for a nuclear war. You guys just think, oh, nuclear war won't happen. Sweep that under the cover. If it does, do you have your potassium iodide? Do you have your food? Do you know what you're going to do? Have you done your drills? Have you done your scenarios? Have you talked to your family members and said, okay, in case of nuclear war, what do you do? I have. I've talked to Teddy Weekly about it. I've talked to Zoe about it. What do you do? Well, you stay in your home until the radiation clears. And then when it's lower enough, you try to work your way across country if you have to. Or with other people, as long as they're not mongrels and heathens and want to kill you for your foods and stuff. What if a Great Depression happens, huh? Think about this homework assignment for you. I want you guys to think about it. Is your mind prepared for a Great Depression? Am I just sitting here trying to lead a flock that doesn't give a shit? They're more worried about fucking the next 2 years economy. Oh, we need Ron DeSantis. We need Biden. We need Harris. We need Trump. There won't be a fucking Democratic Party or a Republican Party if this shit hits the fan. Has anyone ever thought about that? No, they got their head so far up their ass, worried more about their useless, shit-headed fucking elected officials doing jack shit than prepping and using the mindset and the time that you've been given in this world to prep in case of the shitting the fan. Let me put it to you this way, shitbirds. How many people out there are going to see the younger generation survive, okay? I've told you time and time again. I've even told Teldor this. When you're prepping, you take a little time out of your day to educate yourself about the Great Depression and to prep your mindset just in case. Situation where the internet goes out, you say, oh, The router's acting wonky. Okay, well, we'll let it fix. I'll reset it. Or you sit there and some people are like, damn piece of junk. Remember the old days? TV was acting up. They're like, oh, there we go. It's working again. It's not a fix where you just tap the TV and it works. The thing is, just think about it. Are your mindset prepared? Are you prepared? The newer generation so glued to their phone they can't get their head out of their ass. The newer generation is not like my generation, where we grew up with a different lifestyle and skill set, where back in the day they put TVs in cars. Now they have TVs in motorhomes, but does the motorhomes run the TVs? Yeah, if you have an inverter, but otherwise, do you have a generator on board to run the TV? Maybe, if you want to play your Nintendo. But do you see where I'm going with this? I'm saying in general that back in the day, we were traveling in the cars, in the motorhomes, in the vans, looking out the windows, wondering about things on these long things, and the only time we got up was to use the toilet. Otherwise, we sat in our thing, we played our board games, and we played our card games, and we played our whatever while traveling in a motorhome, van, car. Nowadays, seat belts. And yet, these newer generations don't. They let life pass them by. They're like, oh yeah, Mom, Ted said on my phone. And then Trish said, and then Bob said, and then Mark said. Growing up, we didn't fucking text. Growing up, the phone was used for two reasons. Call grandma or grandpa. Your mom called you to make sure you're safe. Or you used it to order a fucking pizza. It was a tool. Nowadays, everyone's fucking sitting there every 2 seconds. You got an email? Do I got the email? Do I have the email? Email comes in, you put your phone down, you do something, you come back 30 minutes later, no email, okay, you go back to doing something else. Me, I'm educating myself. These fucking Peckerwoods in this day and age, they couldn't survive without their fucking phones. They couldn't survive with it. You give a kid one of these, they'll be bored out of the gourd within 1 hour because there's no games on it. They're just like, what's this? This is what is called a tool. It's not. So many people are addicted to tablets they use for phones and video conferencing and chatting. But what if? First, stock market crashes. Everyone's glued. So you're going to hear cell phones across America. All circuits busy. People going insane. Me? Then all these people are going to be flooding YouTube. YouTube servers aren't going to be handling it unless you pay the proper fee to bypass the circle, which YouTube's got loading problems. When you're a premium member, YouTube gives them full access ahead of time, like StreamYard, OBS, whatever. So you just, right? Think about it. You shitbirds basically turn around and you're glued to your fucking phone. You wouldn't even know what to happen. You're not prepping. You're like, oh yeah, the government will look after me. If the government cuts off all funding and won't raise the debt ceiling, the stock market crashes, your parents won't be supporting your cell phone. They won't be paying your bill. You're going to be stuck with one family member or maybe two family members, $15 plan from TracFone until TracFone fails. But then you got to ask yourself, how many people will be cutting corners like crazy? People will be getting rid of their cars. People will be cutting corners on gas. People are going to be cutting corners on any time. You see, my point being is, think about it this way. I come on here. I preach to you, keep on prepping. And yet, first of all, one of your prepping survival skills you need, students, and you need to think about this when you're on a walk, is do you have the fucking mindset to handle a blizzard? Maybe. Do you have a mindset if a tornado wipes out your house? Maybe. The after effect would be you lost everything, but the insurance might cover it. You have the mindset if an earthquake wipes your house out? Maybe. Do you have the mindset if you lose your home from a tsunami? Maybe. You have the mindset to really train your mind in case your family members die of a natural disaster or starvation? Maybe. You have to train your mind for all this. Your mind's the ultimate weapon. But to do that, you need to train it, to educate it. You don't want to sit around every day watching cartoons and racing and sports and porn and saying, oh, she's insane. Shithead's fan, you're hungry? Who's going to be the one hungry? Your family's going to be like, oh, yeah, Rita's up north. We could go and live with her because she's got food. I ain't taking people in. Shithead's fan. You didn't prep? Go fuck off. Plain and simple. Think about it. First, you need the mindset. The newer generation, they don't have the mindset. The newer generation doesn't have the mindset for anything. Current mindset? Current mindset is live 1 minute at a time glued to your phone. I may use my tablet, but you see me using it right now? No, the screen's cracked. You see me using it? No, the screen's cracked. Look at this. You see that? Screen's cracked. It's a pain in the ass. I can screen it with Windex, but what's the point? And yet, you got to ask yourself, you preppers, people say, oh, just go buy a new one. Really? What if the banking collapse hits rock bottom 1st of July or in July after the government runs out of money where banking default goes down to AA? Oh, we can always get it back like the last time. They're talking about that again. But the default doesn't get raised, right? So they let the government stay spending till September 30th. So then they think, oh, we can make a deal by September 30th. Nothing happens. Stock markets keep going down. They're super inflated anyways. Companies inflate themselves. Well, we're the best company. That cripples Microsoft. That cripples Apple. That cripples Samsung. That cripples every company out there. There's people don't invest. I mean, look, from now until the shit hits the fan because all you fucking peckerwoods believe that nothing's going to happen. You believe the government. There's a few preppers out there that are serious like me. Like Teldor, like Zoe, like Higgins, like Fanny, like Pee-wee. Rest of you peckerwoods, you come to my channel thinking it's entertainment. Oh, what's Chloe going to do today? I try to diversify, but tonight's episode is to say we all manage our time differently. And I'm tired of saying, oh, Rita's playing Atari. Atari's outdated, buddy. They don't make Atari anymore. I play Nintendo. I don't even own an Xbox. That's how I hate Microsoft so much, okay? I have Sony. I have a PS5, but do you see me talking about it? No. What am I playing? My Switch. Why? Because I'm playing a game that's entertainment. Is it beer time? I'll grab a beer. Why? Well, because there's 2 cores left and I want a core. And because I want to talk to you guys about serious issues. You see, truth is in the pudding, people. The pudding is, the truth is, I'm prepping behind the scenes. I'm teaching you guys valuable lessons. Remember what I said in the beginning of my prepping channel? YouTube can be your best friend. Higgins emailed me and said, hey, boss, what's that 6-hour prepping documentary on What you're watching, is it free? Yeah, it's free. It's on YouTube. 6 hours. What's it for? It's simple. It's to educate what the fuck happened and how people survived the Great Depression. Yeah. Let me tell you what I think. In the Great Depression, I'm a history buff too, by the way, President FDR was trying to tell people to trust banks. Nowadays, you either trust your money to be in a bank or you trust taking most of your cash out. I know a couple people that get SSI checks. They cash out every month and they keep greens in a safe. And then I know preppers out there that take their SSI checks, pay their bills, and then spend a couple $100 in Silver Eagles. Stackpiling just in case. It's fine. Why? Just in case. Best course of action. You see, you have people out there, right? There's people in this country that prep. And then there's people out there that sit there. The other day, I had a conversation with a prepper who calls me on the phone. And they said, Rita, I would like to buy this, and this. I said, wait, shit's going to hit the fan. Your best bet is prep. Prep. Buy what's needed. Hoard the rest. People ask me, all those gift cards that Piper and others got, have I spent a dime? No. I'm sitting on it. You know, tonight I was talking to a friend of mine while I was on the phone for like 7 minutes, Poppy. She heard the conversation. When I got off, I said to her on my computer, we were like Discording, Skyping type thing. And I said, my father-in-law is spending $3.24 for a movie. And then he's complaining that all the good movies went to MGM Epic. I don't know. I got MGM Epic for like $7.99 or $5 a month. I'm not complaining. I watch all the movies I want. Why? I said, while he's paying $3.24 movie rental, I'm flipping through my channel, looking at anything on the topic of Great Depression, how to live through depression, reading books, getting info. Why? Because my mindset says you need to prep for it. You need to have the mindset in case something happens. It's not about seeing. It's about training. While someone says, oh, well, you know. So today's lesson for you students is this. Do you think you can survive a Great Depression for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years? We spent so much money on credit. People are financing everything. Charles Ingle was played by Michael Landon. His motto was cash on the barrel, no credit. That's a motto you guys should learn. Think about it. My journal, it has everything I want that I want to work for goals. But is it feasible? No, it isn't. Why? Do I need a dishwasher? Yes. Do I need to buy one now? No. Should I buy one? No. You see, when they start talking about a recession, they're talking about the slowdown of productions. But in America, when 1920s was a boom time, people are overproducing grains, crops, vegetables, automobiles, refrigerators. There's a book somewhere that talks about the last 100 years, from 1901 to 1999, 1900 to 1999. Talks about all the new technology coming out. That vacuum cleaner. Every household wanted a vacuum cleaner. Shop vac came out. Every man wanted a shop vac. Think about it. Wash and dryer came out. Every household had to have that. Reefer. Back in the day, my grandmother, great-grandmother used to say, before the refrigerator, my great-grandmother said, It was a box. They called it the ice box. Why? People say, oh, you're getting in the ice box? The ice box was a device, a steel box you put in your house for whatever amount they charge. And the iceman would come by and put in new ice in your ice box. Think of it this way, right? Let me tell you a story. For you people living in the past and these newer dipshit glued to your phone shitbirds. It goes like this. They wouldn't know what an ice box is unless they Googled it. And they're like, oh, how could you live that way? Simple. It was simple back then. Back in the day, they built a big ice block with another ice block that looked like a chest. And people back then would make ice cream in it. Think about it. Nowadays, it's all different. Back in the day, guy would come to your home when he started services or he went down to the shop or whatever. And they would deliver you every morning your morning of milk. Sometimes they would do chocolate milk or strawberry milk or regular milk or non-fat or acidophilus. People say, what's acidophilus? If you don't know what acidophilus milk is, Google it. Because I'm tired of telling you peckerwoods to Google things. Because you need to realize I grew up in a time frame when you heard stories about the families talking about putting 100,000 miles on the family Cadillac or Chrysler or Lincoln or, Oldsmobile. People say, oh, what happened to the Oldsmobiles? I hear they were discontinued, but you see, no one talks about Oldsmobiles. Cars are getting shorter and shorter in names. People don't even know about the old Packards. Love the old Packards. Those were badass cars back then. But guess what? You guys don't know anything about Packards. You're talking about things that happened over the years, right? Can you prep for it? If electricity failed, could you guys change your mindset to go with a box that you filled once in a while for ice? Could you change your mindset and have some guy knock on your door asking to sell you newspaper subscriptions? Or could you have the mindset, if the internet failed permanently, could you live with someone coming to your door delivering you milk? Back in the day, that's what they did. Country was. They produced the milk, they delivered it. They didn't have a middleman go and pick the milk up, homogenize and pasteurize it, put it in the thing, and put it in the grocery stores. They cut out the milk delivery service because the milk delivery service was not a good service, or they got rid of the paper delivery for digital currencies or whatever. I mean, think about it. People back then had paper routes. So you got to ask yourself, the moral of the story is, could you mentally survive, you shitbirds, in a Great Depression situation? Could you survive knowing that you may have 10,000 bottles or pills of ibuprofen and 10,000 naproxen and 10,000 Tylenol, survive on it for 10 years while watching your supply and demand go down? People will see stuff at stores. It'll be cash only. Could you survive that walking in? Sorry, cash only. Or special new credit currencies or currencies. Can you see you seeing walking down the street in neighborhoods you liked and finding out that there's nothing to buy because 99% of your favorite stores went under? Look at malls. Malls are deader than a doornail. Does any preppers know this? No. They're like, oh, well, I told you. I've given you the preppers list. We'll go through it Saturday again. I've done everything I can, but think of it. I'm prepping. I've been told I need to lead the flock. What am I doing tonight? I'm leading the flock. You see, everyone has their limits on things. Some people get paid once a month. Some people get twice a month. Some people get paid weekly. Prep when you can. Don't hesitate. Get your house in order. But at the same time, you guys need to be kicked in the ass from time to time to remember that if you're prepping, you need to prep, read books, get your local library involved, get books on the Great Depression, study what happened. Studied what happened. Ask yourself questions. Ask yourself. Here's a couple questions for you. I got a homework assignment for you. I know Teldor likes my homework assignment. How about this for a study? We're in the year 2023. I want you guys to do this for a homework assignment tonight and tomorrow. Expect results. Just like the other homework I told you. Get your house in order. Find out what you need. Start buying it. Make sure you have a year's worth of food minimum. But here's your homework assignment tonight. I want you guys to turn around, sit down, get your books in order, study the Great Depression, understand it, and then go all the way back to say, when civilization was getting better, maybe in the 1700s, 1750s, 1760s, to 2023 and in between, figure out the average wage worker for a year in the United States, and then figure out the cost of living and what they're paying, right? I was hearing in the 1920s, a slab of bacon, that's like 9 pounds of bacon, supposedly. A slab of bacon was like 9 cents or something. 39 cents or something a slab, right? Think about it. Slab of bacon's 39 cents for 9 pounds, 8 to 9 pounds. Then you got to ask yourself, your homework question tonight is, what happened? Now, 18 ounces of bacon is $15 to $20. I can get a slab of bacon. Well, I have connections where I can get bacon for free, but let's just say, for the sake of the argument, that bacon is $79 for 9 pounds. Free shipping, right? Think about it. $79 for a slab of bacon. Think about it. I want you to chew on it. Think about it. Chew on it. Think about it. Back in the day, in the 80s, a ramen pack was 3 cents. 3 cents for even 2 cents, 1 cent on sale. Now, they want $20 to $30 in high inflation just to pay for it at times. $20 to $30. You got to ask yourself, you people, why? So your homework is, do the math, cost of living. I'll tell you why it was so cheap. It was overpopulated back then. They literally saturated the markets with overpopulation. And we had enough people here. We didn't have 340 million people to look after. We had approximately 60 million people back then until after the World War II. Think about it. You say, oh, well, that's why. I was talking to someone tonight about farming issues, okay? I said, how come we're importing our grain from other countries? Because the farmers were told the best crops to grow are soy. I'm looking into that to make sure it's factual, but currently it is factual that I understand. So think about it. We're making more soy than we're growing wheat, flour, barley, rye. You're paying more because everyone wants the better crops for money. Barley used to make beer. Wheat to make beer and bread. Yeast to make beer. You see, American people don't have the mindset to train in case power goes out, in case food shortages. You see, the Americans these days, my students, believe that Uncle Sam will cut them a check if another depression happens. The thing is the M&H, the Milk and Honey Express, is derailed. It actually went into a giant tunnel through the mountains and down to hell because it's there. Basically went and disappeared. It went into a black hole. That train's gone. But there's people out there that think the government will bail them out. So it's okay to finance a new TV, a new car, a new house, children's clothes, everything. And then they say to us, the preppers, the people that live on what I make a month, that we're too fucking poor. You see, there's a fine line between financing and not financing. Financing gets you into trouble. There's a fine line for savings and not savings. You see, there's a fine line for wants and needs. In this day and age, Teldor is probably going to laugh at me for saying this, my students, but you shitbirds need to realize that the American people are always keeping up. It's between the Smiths and the Jones. You don't see me saying something like, oh, I need a $1,500 Galaxy Note phone. A phone's a phone. So your phone fucking takes better pictures than a DSLR. Your phone fucking makes a better phone call, supposedly, because it's touchscreen. Well, what about this, huh? You can see my buttons are wonky a bit. You know, it's bubbling out if you look at the screen. But guess what? $20. 20. 20. Unlimited minutes, 15. $20 out the door. $200 plus. Screen's cracked, as you can see, but $200 plus. Guess what? You want to hear a story about cracked screens, cracked backs, compared to $20 phone? I'll tell you what it is. You got a budget. Eventually, you have to cut yourself off. You want the dishwasher? No. Do you want that phone? No. Do you need that shopping cart? Yes. Do I need towels? Definitely. Once in a while, you can sit there and make a joke. If anyone wants to donate, you can donate gift cards for. Gift cards you've donated, I haven't used. But you see me asking for a phone? No. This is a Google phone. Point being, sometimes you got to ask yourself, when's it time to replace? There's a time and place to replace things. There's a time and place to keep things. There's a time and place to dispose of things. The time and the place right now is a prep. You could be in 7 years of famine by the Bible. And you guys would expect Uncle Sam to squeeze their teeth to get them to pay you a check every month because he can't work. Virus is killing people as a pestilence. And yet, a lot of you. Have you ever seen a read Revelation? 4 horsemen. Don't touch the olive oil. A measure of wheat or a measure of barley is the same price. They're saying a loaf of bread will cost you as much for a day's work, but don't touch the olive oil. Then they talk about famine, pestilence, famine being food shortages, and pestilence killing you. Think of it. No one thinks about these lessons. But if we're going into a depression, you better kiss your ass goodbye or start prepping now because Uncle Sam can help you. In the next few months, you're going to see people literally start to panic. You're going to see panic soon. And I'll tell you why, my students. This is where Teldor tells the truth. The truth nuggets is in his messages, his comments. He said, and I quote, this was recently, yeah, so let me just tell you what's going on, Oh, hold on. This is the latest comments. Mopey Express, or is it the Moppy Express? Let me see. I'm still looking for it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, remember when I said prep like your life depends on it? That's what I keep telling you. Well, apparently there's going to be a major run on bank, meaning people masses are going to want to take their money. Yeah, see, here's the thing. Once they start taking the money out because the government can't make a deal for raising the debt limit, that's going to be the trigger. I'm giving you your warning now. Take their money out. Banks are not going to let you. Yeah, the effects, everything. Your credit cards, frozen. Your gift cards, talking to Higgins and others, frozen. Your Social Security payments, SSDI payments, retirement payments, veterans payments, government payments, food stamp payments, frozen. So heed my warning, my beautiful friends. Prep like your ass depends on it. If you think I'm wrong, just ask Rita. Think about it. Why do you think I'm up at the wee hours of night? And then people say, I'm not leading the flock. I'm working my ass off trying to get you guys to prep. Think about it. You guys are in a time move. You got a certain amount of time. And then shit hits the fan. When they start pulling the banks out, right? Right now it's false security. They say, we got till June. Between now and June, prep like your life depends on it because it is going to hit harder than you think. I mean, the Dow Jones went down 600 points yesterday. Today it went down 252 points, I think it was. Yeah, I'm just rounding up. 252 points. And you guys sit around and say, jobless claims Netflix earnings due. You see, what's he going to start tomorrow? This is why I'm up at the wee hours of the cracks. I get my morning coffee, check Dow Jones like I did this morning. You got to ask yourself. There's an old saying. Indians and others used to say, I will sleep when I'm dead. Think about it. I'm the one that's staying up to the wee hours of the morning at different hours. And then someone says, I'm lazy because I'm not prepping. I'm the one that's educating myself, prepping my mind. There's not many people that realize the value of this lesson today is you got to have the mindset to prep. You have to have the mindset to prepare for what's coming. A lot of you say, I prepped, I got my groceries, I'm good. But what if you wake up one morning and the stock market crashes and you go on with your everyday life and you got your groceries and your preps and you got your little gardens and stuff and the stock market's gone. No one's buying it. You're rushing out. Banks are frozen. And you're sitting there, and you get on later and you hear old lady Rita grabbing the coffee talking about the stock market took a dump. And you better have your food in order and your house in order. And you're like, oh yeah, I am. But then you sit there and you say, oh, I'm good. Nothing's going to happen to me and my family. We're armed. Or nothing's going to happen to this people because of this, right? But then you realize your family's out of work. This guy can't work as a butcher. That guy can't work as a bartender. This person here works in a hospital. Entire Domino's collapses. Then they're all sitting there. No jobs. No money. Evicted. Homeless. And you're sitting there going, oh my God. But you didn't take into consideration or accounts of the after effect. You just prepped, bought your groceries, said everything's going to be gravy. But you see someone like Rita walking down the street with the dog. How goes it? People are starving, hungry. And you're just doing your business, and then you go back into your house, and you know the after effects. You prepped for it. And then one day you get a notice. Let's just say power's being turned off. Okay. You get out, open your window, crack. You cook your food, turn your lanterns on. You say, we'll make it. Another person is sitting there. No power, no hot water, no hot baths. Going hungry because they didn't prep. And they said, oh, Uncle Sam will take care of us. Or God will provide for us. But no, God comes to them. And Uncle Sam doesn't cut them a check. And they're in the bread lines for the people that are donating to help. They get a bowl of soup and a loaf of bread. And they're sitting there eating it. And the preppers are fine. And yet, across the country, you got someone that says Rita's insane. Now they're sitting there looking at an empty pantry. No food. They didn't prep. They think everyone should work for their food. And yet there's no jobs for them. They get evicted. Then their cars are repossessed. Then their travel trailers are repossessed. Then their campers repossessed. And all they got is what they can carry with them. And they're hungry and they're starving and they're going to a bread line. And you're surviving. And you're sitting there going, the next stage of the Great Depression is, or the New Depression. And if time follows suit, it's outcome. While everyone else is going insane. Mom, when's the internet going to be restored? Internet's turned off. Servers are turned off. Internet's an expense no one can afford. Farmers are doing their best. People are looking around. Price of commodities go down. No one can afford the new washer and dryer. Stores run out of stuff. Stores go out of business. You're sitting there watching your entire empire crumble within. These people are still waiting for Uncle Sam, begging Uncle Sam to help. You're sitting there going, your mindset is tuned to this. Then all of a sudden, some disaster hits. Snowstorms, tornadoes, power outages, blackouts, earthquakes, flash floods, whatever. People are dying left and right. Military comes in to dispose of the bodies. Let's just say you survive. Your mindset is, oh, Death. People starved to death and died and drowned and blah, blah, blah. And you got others saying, where's our God? We have no internet. We have no phone. You're sitting there with a Bible in your hand, reading it in the daytime. You know how to meet God and commune with God? You got God. Meanwhile, these people are sitting here, no phone, no internet, no video games. They've been playing their games until their family couldn't pay the internet bill or the electric bill, so they got shut off. Now their family's complaining. Now, say the government sits there and restructures the banks, but they have to restructure everything because even though the banks might have your $1,500 or $1,800 or $3,000 a month checks, there's nothing you can do with it. You pay the electric bill. The electric company turns around and says, oh, we can't bill you yet, ma'am, because the government is trying to redo the price control of items, right? How do they price everything out? The government has some commodity control, right? So they got to redo everything. Then they got to sit there and redo the banking systems, calibrate everything, cash, credit, debit, access cash, cash on barrel. What's the price of commodities? Stock market was super inflated. People are putting millions of dollars in the stock market to make billions. Then they got to rethink, do we want this to be a capital country or a communist country? Meanwhile, while they're doing that, they get the military to enact certain rules and regulations where the military controls the public works of things. They run the power companies, federal government's power, electricity, water, sewer, garbage as a country. Slowly, the government's working on stage by stage regrouping. Meanwhile, while you're waiting for trash to be taken out, homeless people are looking for scraps. You're going to see stores selling basics. You go into a store, you ain't going to see some company making Signature Select mac and cheese. You're going to see Kraft mac and cheese, Shell's Kraft and cheese, or another brand. They're going to cut it down. Government's going to say, this is how many brands we need. You're going to see Charmin, Cottonelle, maybe Scott, maybe 3 or 4 brands total. They're going to say, we have too many brands out there. They're going to cut down. They're going to make the decisions for us. Yeah. While you're standing around smiling, government's going to basically try to regroup, limiting your decisions, limiting the stock market crashing, and saying, look, you overinflated your companies. Your companies ain't worth that. You're going to see technology swept under the rug. Too many people glued to their phones. They're going to have to redo the education system. They're going to have to get rid of the old empire ways of fast food where you go in for a buck, you get a burger, and you leave. No one's going to be working because the entire country is going to be gone. You won't even see a McDonald's open to get a cup of coffee and a croissant in the morning. You're going to see everything gone. And they're going to have to build one stage at a time. They're going to sit there and see, look, everyone financed everything and the entire financial empire goes because of corporate greed. And then they're going to look at the commodities and change it. You might sit there and say, how long until the internet's restored? How long until your phones are restored? They might turn around and say, look, what we can afford in this third world country is copper line for phone service. So you have a phone in your home again. And then they might, just might, with luck, allow the rich to have a cell phone for business. But they might restructure the entire business industry, commercial industry, residential industry, everything restructured. people financing companies to build 600 homes. And then 600 homes are empty because they built the homes, but they can't fill the homes because there's a housing market bubble. You see where I'm going, people? Point being is no one in their right mind can prep properly without mindsetting things. The mindset is, natural. Back in the day, people prepared for certain mindsets. But then, as technology took over, the people got lax and lazy. Lax and lazy. Some people say to me, "What's a library?" If you don't know what a library is, then I don't know what to tell you. All right. My point is to you all, you need to prep your mind. Not just buy your prepping goods, but prep your mind. Prepping does not include but limited to just buying groceries and storing it away. Your prepping is also to skill set you. You need to, it's like a role-playing game, okay? I know. Tell is like, ooh, the boss is playing game. Let me give you the rendition of a role-playing game. Some role-playing games like Elder Scrolls, you have skill sets. If you decide to choose the assassin skills or assassin's class, you're basically a sniper with a bow and crossbow, with the sets with using poisons to kill people, lock picking skills, etc. These are the skills in the game. But in real life, think of it as like role playing. You need the skill sets to handle a Great Depression or a nuclear war. Instead, you think stockpiling food, you'll be fine. Most of the people's mindset is not to the point where they're independent. They're dependent on Uncle Sam's handouts. What's going to happen? Think of it this. Here's a homework assignment for you. How many of you out there, people, are going to sit there with 20 or 30 kids like, oh yeah, government's my baby's daddy. All of a sudden, government runs out of money. African Americans, Hispanics, Latinos, Caucasians, Asian Americans, no food stamps. Then what? What are they going to do then, huh? They'll do what they have to survive. But at what cost to you? What cost to me? Think about it. Where's their mindset? Their mindset is they don't give a shit unless they claim they're entitled. Entitlement? Get off your ass. You think you're entitled? Your entitlement is you're entitled to live. You're entitled to survive. But you're not entitled to get a handout. You need the mindset. So what I'm teaching you tonight is a valuable lesson for Teldor's sake. Is I'm lighting fire under your ass. And this is what I'm going to say. You need to get books, movies, videos, documents, study the stock market crash, and tell yourself, prep your mindset, prep the psychological mind for the outcome. You'll be a lot calmer when the shit hits fan than you fucking panicking like your head's cut off like a chicken because you don't know what the fuck to do. You say, oh, Uncle Sam will cut you check. Have you ever set a mindset up if you have to lose everything and live in a tent? Think about it. Shantyville? Why don't we call it Hooverville 2? You prepared to live in a Hooverville 2? You guys don't even know what the fuck is coming down the fucking pipe. And yet, I sit here and I play a game maybe 2 hours a day. It's a prepping game, by the way. It's a semi-prepping game. It's a farm sim. It gives me ideas for these videos. But when I get up from a nap and I'm talking to my friends about prepping and how I'm proud of them, Higgins and Zoe and my other friends, and then I get a message, I'm playing Atari. Mm-mm. I'm prepping behind the scenes. And then Higgins and Zoe says to me, boss, you deserve a nap. You do too much for your community and no one appreciates what you do. Thank you for you people that stand by me, because I'm teaching you valuable lessons throughout. And I hope one day you guys can look back at my videos and say she was completely spot on. 99% of the American people talk about prepping. 99% of prepping for civil war, nuclear war, stockpiling food, water. But these fucking big preppers out there, you know who you are. Are they training you for the mindset? No. They don't sit there and say, oh, well, you're there to prep for civil war. No. Do they tell you how to handle civil war? Do you have the mindset to turn on your own family in civil war for your rights? Do you have the mindset, if it got that bad? Or do you have the mindset of something else? Think about it. Chew on it. Americans don't have the mindset. What Americans have is a piss poor excuse for prepping. I went through the channels the other day, the big channels, before I did this video, because I like to be accurate. I like to give the truth nuggets. And you know what? Not one of those dipshit son of a bitch peckerwood cocksucking shitbirds is training you guys to have the mindset to survive a nuclear Armageddon, a banking collapse, meltdown Armageddon, apocalypse of massive proportion. They're talking about everything but prepping your mindset. So when I sit there and I see you guys sitting there saying our fearless leader's playing Atari, your fearless leader's here tonight to light a fire under your ass by saying, look, prepping is not just about water. It's not about food. It's not about rent. It's not about housing or shelter. It's overall. And if I can't sit here, how many times am I going to do this until the banks collapse and teach you the valuable lessons you need in today's society to survive? Whether it be the mindset, whether it's the non-mindset, or to tell you to go to the library and get books, YouTube movies, YouTube, Amazon, whatever, to study the Great Depression. If you don't have the mindset, then what good are you prepping with water and food? Do you have the mindset to be calm and cool if the banking stock collapses? No. Why? Because you're worried about your fucking phone and your fucking internet, your fucking apps. Think about it. Banking collapse happens. Your money's froze up. What do? Do you have any extra greenbacks laying around or coins? No? Oh, you didn't listen because you thought Uncle Sam would just cut you a check. Or what about for you people out there? The people that suck up everything. And then you finally get cash and there's nothing at the store. Then what? Whose fault is it, huh? 99% of you people didn't prep. You figured your mindset is you're glued to your fucking phones. You're a little sheeple that believe in the government's lies. While the rest of us prepped behind the scenes. We prepped. We stocked. We got what we needed. Groceries? Done. Food? Done. What did I do? Prepped. What am I doing? I could be watching a documentary right now. But what am I doing for you guys? I'm here. Why? To teach you a valuable lesson. That lesson is you need to prep your mind. It's not just about sitting on your ass, playing a video game for 2 hours a day or reading a book for 4 hours about the Great Depression. I've studied the former Soviet Union and what the economy is like after everything, depression and everything, blah, blah. I'm well aware of what could happen in this country. You have to have the mindset. But you Peckerwoods think it's all about handouts. Well, let me ask you this before I go. Because you know as well as I do, it's almost midnight. And I'll be up early in the morning and to man the damn computers for you because that's what I do. It's my job to be an administrator. It's all I feel like I am is a slave to the preppers who don't get the message that they need to fucking prep. And then I get nasty emails saying my channel sucks because I'm not teaching valuable information. They'd rather put $500 to a big prepper who could take their money and eat on steak and lobster. Well, my channel's giving you some more information that you don't even hear about. One of these preppers is going to teach you a lesson of mindset. Do you have a mindset to go through a nuclear war? Do you have a mindset when your fucking food stamps get cut off? Do you have the emergency backup plan or the mindset in case Social Security runs out? No. Do you have a mindset if your bank accounts are frozen, stock market crashes? No. That's your lesson tonight. Your homework is this. When you choose the mindset, you got to ask yourself this question tonight. Do you have what it takes to fucking survive besides food and water? To survive a massive, global, worldwide, severe, catastrophic event that will change mankind's existence forever? Or do you think Uncle Sam's just going to give you a check and you can move it along? But what if they don't have the debt ceiling raised? What if they can't? They cut you off. You see, Tildor knows the secret code word for milk and honey is credit. I don't believe in credit, but I do believe in educating one's mind for the possibilities of what could fucking happen. There's too many Peckerwoods out there thinking we got 6 months. We're not going to fail right now. So, let's put it this way. Back in the 29, there was 10,000 to 50,000 people laying outside Wall Street after the crash. People didn't know what happened. They were living on credit. This time we have the internet. But the stock market could crash tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Question to you has this. What would you do if it happened tomorrow? That's your second homework question to ask. What would you do, huh? You better have your house in order and keep it in order. Because we ain't out of the fucking woods. What we have problems with is you fucking shitbirds glued to your fucking phones and your streaming services. I have streaming services. I've cut down half of them down. I can cut them all down. I'm using YouTube right now. Why? Free documentaries, Great Depression, free info. Point being, I ain't wasting my fucking time. All the time on games. I'm fucking handling preppers. Higgins the prepper. Zoe the prepper. Myself. My moderating team knows they can contact me. Pee-wee, Fanny, they email me. Oh, did you hear about this and that? Yep. You think my moderating team is behind the scenes? Who moderates? By the way, I want to say to Teldor, I don't know who you are, Teldor, but I loved your comment from the last time. And I just wanted to say, for the record, Teldor, that you may join anytime live chat because I don't know who you are, but I like your attitude. So if you ever come to live chat, you have a wrench already next to your name. I made sure of that. So that would mean from me to you, thank you, because I do my fucking job well. Problem is, Teldor, I'm fucking tired. I'm feeling like I'm being pecked out by a little bird. So a prepper emails people, phone calls them, gets their house in order, which I do every fucking day. And yet, person like me preps from sun up to sundown, monitoring the channels, doing everything I can for my people. But my people don't comment. They don't give a shit. Higgins calls me, oh, did you mean? Yes. So he says, oh, yes, I just picked up another $10,000 in groceries. Whatever. 20,000, 50,000, 100, doesn't matter. Just lots of groceries for prepping. Higgins says he's getting groceries. Pee-wee, we know, is prepping. So he's prepping. I'm prepping. Everyone around me, my inner circle's prepping. They know shit's going to happen. But then you have other people that believe, what's the point? Uncle Sam will cut him a check. That's it. I love Zoe with all my heart. I'm proud of all my sheep, my flock. They're doing what needs to be done before it gets too late. And yet, there's other people that believe in financing every little fucking item. Meat, cheese, underwear, socks. Are going to be when you're on the streets with no food. Because you think the good life is financing everything. Think about it. In the meantime, preppers, think of your lesson. Do you have the mindset to survive anything? Or do you think just prepping includes food and water and you're done? I'm working behind the scenes. I get up. If I do 3 videos a day, morning, after lunch, and after dinner, then you'll know what's going on. You'll get your videos. You'll get your school lessons. In the meantime, the teacher does need to rest too from time to time, don't I? I'm exhausted. Think of it. I'm manning the computers. I'm looking at the news. Now to the news. Military wants to give $2.5 billion more in aid to Ukraine, the United States, with Stryker and Bradley fighting vehicles. Again, not to mention armored Stryker vehicles, not to mention, but not limited, that you, the taxpayers, have already spent $27 billion for that country. That's $27 billion you ain't going to ever see again in your life. Chew on that one and ask yourself, is it right for the United States government to bankrupt your country, put you in a Great Depression for another country? No. But apparently their national security is at stake because they produce grain while we're selling soy because we're producing more soy crops in this country. Think about it. In the meantime, thanks for watching. School is out. Please add and subscribe. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion, hit the like, subscribe button so some fun for your family, including your dogs, cats, bunnies, your service dogs, your service bunnies. Hit the bell notification, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe button, hold some fun for your family. And just please leave the comments nice is all we ask. Thank you so much. And God bless you in everything you do.